Y'all come in, come in, come in, come in. Let's do this thing, y'all, on day 86. I ain't forgot about y'all. We're gonna commentate Terry through the live. And if you haven't been here when we do that, then just sit back and relax. This is day 86. We've been following this live for 86 days. Now, let's see what they got for Young Thug today, y'all. Let's see what they got for Thugger today. Okay, first the judge gonna do is call the roll, y'all. He got to see who skipped class, missed class, in class.
My right is Jack Pines, Pines. He is a rising second year law student at Georgia State University.
Are you charging for these like experiences, Mr. Steele? Like you're cycling through a whole bunch of people, you know.
Take them all. They're great lawyers to come.
No, it's free labor, okay? So subsidized labor. But what?
Don't hate, Judge.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Yes, he's welcome to be here.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Anything else?
No, on behalf of Mr. Williams.
Okay. Anything else before I call for our jurors?
What's up, Thugger? What's up, baby? Just hang in there, Thug. I'm proud of you. Hang in there, baby.
Good morning.
They trying to let you come out your shirt.
Good morning. All right, good morning.
Hang in there, baby.
Where's Meg? Did y'all let her go or something like that? All right, okay, all right. Some of our jurors, please, sir.
Welcome to the Rico world, brother. Those who just joined, this is Young Thugger, YSL, Rico trial. This is they blaming Young Thug, cause at the time he was their leader, but he wasn't the one told them nuts to go out there and do what they did. You know they gonna blame somebody. They gonna put the blame on somebody. But he didn't do nothing. But he got to be there, y'all. Let me share this. Young Thug wore some nice clothes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you, sir, Ingram. All right, ladies and gentlemen, jury, good morning. Good morning. All right, without further ado.
Mr. Ira Singleton. All right, summon Mr. Singleton, please.
Mr. Singleton, good morning, sir. Sir, if you would please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, if you'd be so kind and turn and face Sergeant Ingram, be sworn as a witness before you sit down.
Seen that man before. Is that the detective? I seen that.
Ira Singleton, IRASINGLETON.
I wish y'all to get out in front of the camera. Jeez. Ain't nobody never been in front of the camera before.
I'm sorry?
Where are you from?
Originally South Carolina.
What you got in your mouth?
Do you currently live in the Metro Atlanta area?
I do.
When did you move to the Metro Atlanta area?
Back in 2003.
And have you resided here? Have you resided here for the major portion of your time since relocating?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your educational background?
I attended Coastal Carolina University.
Excuse me.
Graduated in '94 with a business degree.
Okay. And where's Coastal Carolina University?
Conway, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area.
Everybody in front of the camera. Jeez, I ain't never seen nothing like this.
Can you hear me? Okay.
We see everybody big back and
What
head.
do you do for work?
Can't even see him.
Currently,
Yes, sir.
district manager for
I ain't never seen
Town
him.
Park.
And have you always worked for Town Park?
No,
What did you do before that?
I was with Hertz Rent-A-Car.
And how long did you work with? Well, let me ask you this: how long have you worked in the capacity with Town Park?
Started with
Can
them, I
I
think,
add a
in
little light
22.
because I can't see.
To the present.
Yes.
And when you were with Hertz, how long had you worked with Hertz?
From October 94 until I think it was June or July of 21.
And what kind of work did you do at Hertz?
So when I left Hertz, I was the general manager at the Atlanta Hartsville Airport.
And what was your first role when you arrived to Hertz?
First role,
Yes, sir.
I started out at Hertz
What you
in
doing,
Myrtle
sleep?
Beach as a kind of sales agent. So I rented cars. I did that for a couple months.
Can y'all go faster than this?
Okay. And you said you did that for a couple of months. Did something change after a couple of months?
I was promoted. So yeah, I kind of moved up through the ranks.
Okay.
Became a manager, and that's how my career started.
Right. And
Can't even see the
how
witness.
long did you work at the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Airport location of Hertz Rental Car?
So I transferred here in 2003. And then I was promoted again and transferred to work the Alabama market.
Okay.
That would have been 2009.
Why
And
is he
then I
smacking?
returned to Atlanta
I'm sorry, y'all. I get
in another
irritated.
capacity back in 2000, I want to say 14.
Okay. Right. And how many years total did you work for Hertz?
About 26 and a half years.
Okay.
Can y'all come on?
What were your duties
Jesus.
and responsibilities in your capacity as the general manager at the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Hertz Rental Car Airport?
I know exactly what he's
Atlanta
talking about.
Hartsfield Jackson location of Hertz Rental Car.
I'm basically the P&Ls, overall service, sales.
Look at Mr. Steele like, why are we
just
moving
growth
this
of,
slow?
of the business.
Take him that long to say that?
When you say P&R, what is
P&L?
P&L, excuse me.
Oh, just your income statement, profit and losses.
Okay,
Sorry.
no problem. As a part of your duties, would you also oversee the day-to-day business of the business?
Absolutely, yes.
That
Did
my
that
boy
include
Adam.
supervising other employees?
Yes.
Okay. About how many employees would you have under your supervision in 2015, say?
I would say it was over 400, close to 500.
And as a part of your capacity as the general manager, would you oversee them directly, or was there someone beneath you to directly supervise them?
So as a general manager, I had 2 assistant GMs.
Okay.
And under them, you had different levels of managers. So it was a total of 30 managers, I think, somewhere around that number.
And when you say 30, is it correct? Is it fair or correct to say that those 30 managers worked underneath the 2 assistant general managers?
Correct.
Okay. And
Now, you're talking 15 or you're talking now?
oh, in 2015.
Oh, 2015, I was in a different capacity. I was, I don't remember what the title was, but it was like director of operations.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You don't remember the
I
title?
reported to the general manager then.
I see.
Yeah. And so those managers, yeah, they
Y'all
were
supposed to have all these
the level
degrees.
under me.
Okay. All right. And as a part of your role and responsibilities, as the director of operations, let me ask you this: how long do you remember serving in that capacity?
Um, that would have been when I returned from Alabama until I want to say 2019, 18.
Okay. Do job titles at Hertz change frequently, to your knowledge?
Of course.
Okay. Why is that?
Anytime there's leadership change, the new leader, depending on where they come from, what their background is, they would change titles. At one point, I was a city operations manager, then I became a director of this, a director of that. So yeah, it always changed.
And in those changes of the job titles that you described, were there just
Well, that right,
were
Mr.
there just
Steele.
name changes, or did your duties change as a part of those jobs?
Name change.
Okay. So is it fair to say that your duties and responsibilities as the director of operations were the same as when you were general manager?
No.
Okay. What difference did you have in duties as director?
Yeah,
of
I'm about to skip
operations
this
versus
because I
when you
don't
were
see
general
what this
manager?
got to do with Young
So
Thug.
general manager,
Security checkpoints.
we have exit gates.
Okay.
The exit gates would be reps. So exit gate reps.
Okay. And before I get into that, I want to circle back to something you said. You indicated there was a Voltron board, correct? After a person has identified where their vehicle that they have rented is located on that board, would they have to interact with any representatives at that time?
So no, but let's say I'm in space 535. All right. I'm a tall guy and I get there and it's a Toyota Corolla, right? So at that point, for me to switch that Corolla into something that would be more suitable for my size, I would have to go inside and see someone, yes.
Okay. How does a Gold Club member initially make a reservation if they don't interact with anybody to begin with?
Everything's web-based.
Okay.
So you can go online and you can book a reservation through hertz.com.
And as a part of that booking process for a Gold Club member, would you have to enter any personal identifiable information on the web?
As a Gold Club member?
Yes, sir.
No. Everything's already stored.
Okay. Would you have to provide driver's license on the web?
Regular customer, Gold customer?
Either. Let's start with the Gold customer first.
Gold customer, driver's license.
Okay.
Because everything's on file.
Okay.
So as a Gold member, currently, my credit card, my driver's license is on file. When I rent a car now as a non-Hertz employee, I have to qualify when I leave the exit gate. So when I get there, now it's different, whereas everything is on your phone. And you know where to go. When you pick up your car, you go to the exit, they're gonna ask you for your driver's license and they verify your driver's license. They scan the car and they match everything. Back in 15, it was different because everything was a paper contract. And so that paper contract would say Ira Singleton. When I got to the exit as a Gold customer, I would present my driver's license. And that's how they would verify that I am who I am. Okay. And verify that I'm in the right vehicle.
Understood. Now, as it related to the process for someone who's not a Gold Club member, would you, in fact, or would the back gate representatives, as you described, use your words, have to verify their identity prior to that vehicle being released through that gate as well?
So back in 15, everything was done on the front end. So the rental process, you approach the counter, I receive your driver's license and your credit card, right? I have to verify that the license and the credit card match, right? So basically, I can't rent a car with Mr. Brown's credit card. So that's what I have to verify. That's procedure. And once that's verified, that's called, basically qualifying whoever's trying to rent a car Correct. Once that's done, then I would take them through the process, meaning we would go through all the questions that you would ask. Once everything was done, we would run the credit card for authorization for whatever the rental charges would be, plus whatever the incidental charge was back during that time. And then we would sign. So we would get a max
I'm gonna
signature.
skip it, y'all. I'm gonna skip. Cause he getting to a point to something. Let me see. Let me put it right here. Then.
Such transaction or inquiry is made by Hertz. Okay. And would you recognize those type of documents that being a rental agreement, a reconciliation of business, a transaction detail for legal inquiries, and any rental agreement as well? All right. And for the record, are those yes?
I'm so sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Second man came in to me.
Previously shared in this level and remarks.
Hey, Miss Love, you look pretty today.
Excuse me, let me restate.
You acting professional.
333 Yankee, 335 Yankee, and 338 Yankee. Yes, sir.
Look at Mrs. Shaw. Adam. There go y'all witness who's talking about those hearse cars. See, what they getting to now, y'all, is they think that was a rental car that was in day 83. 79, 83. They trying to find out that was that a rental car they was driving in. The one who shot Donovan, okay, known as Nut. See, I'm gonna tell you, the state sneaky. They got something, they don't supposed to hide nothing, but they got some more stuff down in their little bag. They grabbing out slowly. I don't know why men so slow than women. I'm sorry, men. I love y'all. But y'all is too slow for me. Jeez, take that long to look at pictures. All right, Lanita, calm down. Calm down, Lanita, calm down. Take that long to look at some pictures. If they start talking and look, and he need to move. He don't need to be out in their business. Listening. Hey, Miss Love. Now you better keep being good like you been. You've been professional lately. Keep people out your ear and be professional. Don't lose it. And present yourself like a lady. Then you okay with me? Come on, guys. We're in a courtroom now. They talk about that car, y'all. They trying to find out was that a rental car. Some about them paper boys. Some about them papers. There they go. See, people, come on. Let's go to work, y'all. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Come on, y'all up there smiling and laughing. And come on now, we in court, Mr. Steele.
Number on that one, please. Yes. Okay.
Your Honor, with your permission, may I approach the witness?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Singleton, I am now approaching with the documents that have been pre-marked and identified for the record as states 333 Yankee, 335 Yankee, and 338 Yankee. Just ask you to peruse those, and after you've had a chance to look over them, if you look back up at me, and then I'll ask you some further questions.
Get in front of the camera. I do not want to see another back. For those who just joining, this is Young Thug, YSL, Rico trial. And we here because they are blaming holding Young Thug responsible since he had a game back then. But then he had a music, a couple guys in the game that was in the music industry, in the music business. But then he let the game go. But you have to have a game. You don't have to have a game, but you got to have a game for the people that gonna work up under you to protect you. It's kind of hard to make it understand. You gotta understand.
All right.
But he's not. They trying to say he crime the street. Crime unit, but he's not. Man, come on now. He one of them supervisors. I can't work on.
Okay. Have you had an adequate time to review states 333 Yankee, 335 Yankee, 338 Yankee?
Yes.
Okay. Starting with states 333 Yankee, what is states 333 Yankee?
All right, so this would be DRB information for a rental.
Okay. And is that such a document that you would be familiar in your capacity as the director of operations?
Yes.
And have you had an opportunity to review that document, that being states 333 Yankee, prior to coming to court today?
This?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we glanced at it.
Okay. And at the time that you glanced at it, is it in the same or substantially the same condition as it was when you had the opportunity to review it prior to coming to court?
Mm-hmm.
And is that the kind of document that would be kept in the ordinary course of business for Hertz Rental Car Company?
Yes.
And would it be prepared at or near the time that a transaction was made, as we described earlier in general?
Yes. So rental occurred today. This right here would be available after midnight tonight.
Okay. Okay. I want to now transition to states 335 Yankee, which is before you. 335 Yankee, Mr. Singleton.
This is another rental.
Okay. And is that DRB print in the same, or excuse me, how do you know what that is?
How do I know what this is?
Yes, sir. Let me ask you a different question. Is that something you would have dealt with in your
Yes.
business as a director of operations for Hertz?
In my capacity, yes.
Yes, sir. And is that document that you've described and that is identified as States 335 Yankee, something that is prepared in the ordinary course of business for Hertz Rental Car Company?
Yes.
And have you had a chance to review States 335 Yankee prior to coming to court today?
Yes.
And is it in the same or substantially same condition as it was when you had the opportunity to review it prior?
Yes.
All right. And I want to turn your attention now to States 338 Yankee. All right. What is States 338 Yankee?
This is a transactional detail report.
Okay, and is that also something that you would have had to deal with in your capacity as the director of operations for Hertz?
Not often, but yes.
Okay. And have you had a chance to review that document prior to coming to court today?
Yes.
And is it in the same or substantially the same condition as it was when you prior reviewed it?
It is.
And is that another such document that would be prepared in the ordinary course of business for Hertz Rental Car Company?
Correct. Yes.
Correct. Your Honor, at this time, the state now moves request for the admission of States 333 Yankee, 335 Yankee, 338 Yankee into evidence, and subject to your ruling, request permission to publish.
Any objection to states 333 Yankee, 335 Yankee, or 338 Yankee?
No, specifically as regards, basically the 338 Yankee, I'm going to object to that based on relevance. The court has not really taken a look at, my position that it contains irrelevant.
Do you have any objection to 333 Yankee or 335 Yankee, sir?
No objection.
Anybody else? All right, states 333 and 335 Yankee are admitted and may be published as you see fit. Let me see 338 Yankee, please. Mr. Adams, I've had an opportunity to ponder your objection, sir. I'm going to overrule it. I'll give you continuing objection. I'm going to admit as well states 338 Yankee.
Why are you overruling
May be
it?
published as you see fit.
And also, and of course, I also asked that if comes to the court ruling, the items that should be redacted on the 338.
Objected with commentary, Your Honor.
He didn't even read it. The judge didn't even read it.
Come on up.
The judge didn't do nothing but look over that paper, y'all. I promise y'all. He didn't read that paperwork. I know the game. I know the game in the business. He ain't read that information. He ain't read it. He glanced at it. Lazy joker. But these folks end up here making money, boy. Doing nothing. So he just put his glasses on. Boy, I know them juries right there go home, honey, be ready to drink some wine and take a bath, honey. God, woo. Dealing with this every day. I'd rather be on my job. This is a mental stress right now. Game right here.
Stage 338, what Yankees submitted over objection. Thank you, Your Honor. And state is going to start with states 335, 333 Yankee. And if you just give us a brief indulgence, Mr. Singleton, you will see the populate on the screen to your immediate left.
January the 2nd, 2015.
Okay. Right. You are now being shown stage 333.
Oh, third rent the car.
And I want to show you.
Travel
This is a
agent.
smart board. You can touch it and make markings on it. You see.
They use a debit card.
An alternative, if that doesn't work, I'll give you the wood one. Okay.
Starting with states 333 Yankee. Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what it is that we are looking at here? Or what is this document?
Oh, I can say. I'm like, what the world is that?
Rental agreement summary.
Sorry about that, y'all. That was commercial.
I'm sorry, rental agreement summary.
All right.
Is this the same thing?
Yes, it's the same thing, and I'll also allow you to know that right behind you, you might not know it, but there's a TV that shows the same thing.
Okay.
I probably, when not having to interact with the board, have you
Okay.
with the court's permission, you may say about those here testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, so as it relates to State's Exhibit, yes. And just be careful, there's a lady right there.
All right.
For this State's Exhibit 333, do you see a rental agreement number or rental record number as you described earlier?
Yes. So
Can't
this is
see
it.
nothing.
So rental agreement, yes, the number.
Okay, what is the number that you see and that you were pointing at with the wooden pointer?
So that's 103-976-202.
Okay.
Find it
And
here.
what does RA stand for?
Can't see it.
Okay. Just beneath that line that has RA on it, do you see a line that has a CO on it?
Yes.
What does CO stand for?
So CO stands for checkout.
Okay. And I'm actually going to give you this
Microphone, I'll project, and so that you can be heard. When you say checkout, does that mean that, are you saying that to the jury that they are leaving? What do you mean by checkout?
That's when the car was rented.
Okay. Okay. And what date and time do you see associated with checkout?
So this would have been January 2nd, 2015 at 9:08 p.m.
Okay. And as it relates to the items that are next to it, do you see a TMDW?
Yes.
What does that stand for?
That's telling me this person is on a weekly rental rate plan.
The items that are next to it that say ZE, what does that tell you as you look at that today?
In 26 and a half years, I've never known what that meant.
Okay. The numbers that are
Be honest.
directly adjacent to the numbers you have never understood, the letters that you've never understood them to be.
Right.
What does that mean on that line that's consistent with checkout?
So here,
Yes, sir.
okay, so every Hertz location across North America has alpha and a numeric number. So This is telling me 145011. That's the Atlanta airport. All right. And then if you go across here, every Hertz location is identified alpha this way. So you'll start with the state GA, ATL 11,
What does US stand for?
United States. Sorry.
All right, no problem. And what is adjacent to that that says global RECV? What does that stand
Um, that occurs after the card's return.
for? Right.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you have something more?
I don't know exactly what that means, no.
Want to drop to the line just beneath the CO, where we read for checkout.
Yep.
What do you see there that says CI?
So CI, that would stand for check-in. So this car returned on January 7th, 2015, which was a Wednesday at 8:32 p.m.
And
So
was
he
that-
borrowed it he borrowed it January the 2nd. And he kept it to the 7th, so about a week. And he returned it on the 7th.
saying on that line where CI is for checkout, does it contain the same alpha and location?
Now they received it on the 8th.
Yep.
And that's when they checked
I
in
want to
on it.
drop down just, well, not for you, Mr. Atkins, but for you, Mr. Singleton. Is there a renter associated with this rental agreement for this rental that occurred on January the 2nd, 2015?
Yes.
What
Big
name
money.
do you see of any?
Jeffrey Williams.
Right. And beneath that, is there a card number associated with Mr. Williams' rental for this vehicle?
Yes, MasterCard.
Okay, is that what MC stands for?
Correct.
All right, and what numbers do you see to the right of MC, if any?
05 534 869, and then it's X. So it's masked, so you only get certain numbers from the card.
Right. And to the right of that, those numbers that you see that are masked at the end, do you see any more language on this record,
On this line,
on that same line?
yeah, it's telling me that it's not a debit card. And here,
Yes, what is that? Gold Cust.
this is telling me that he's not a gold customer, he's not 5-star, and it's not a gold rent, and he's not platinum. So he rented as like a regular customer.
Okay.
And beneath that line, if you go down two more, on the far left of it, do you see a language that's RESVID?
Yes.
What does that stand for?
So that's indicating that it was a confirmed reservation on day of pickup.
And would that reservation have been made prior to pickup?
There's two ways to answer that. Yes.
Okay.
Because we have seen people, as a walk up. So let's say I walk up and they say the rate's going to be $500 for the week. Then I go online and the rate's $199 for the week. So people will book reses while they're there. But yeah, this is telling me that this reservation was already in place before Mr. Williams picked
Cheaper
up.
on the
Yes.
line.
What is the CDP number?
This is your corporate discount program number, 14. I don't know how I remember this, but that stands for AAA.
Right. Okay, now I want to go a little lower as it relates to, well, we're going to go to page 2 of this same document, which is identified as and admitted to evidence as States Exhibit 333 Yankee. Okay. Do you see, well, I'll ask you this, is the rental agreement number the same on this page as it was for the last page?
6202, yep.
And is the location the same, is the location listed from where it was rented,
Yeah.
the same as on the first page?
145011, yes, Atlanta Airport.
And what checkout do you see associated with this page, if any?
January 2nd, Atlanta Airport. That's when it was rented.
So they were rented on the 7th.
Now to page 3 of this same.
Okay, I thought it was on
Identified
the
as
2nd.
Exhibit 333 Yankee. And on page 3, do you see a rental agreement number that is consistent with what you saw on The first page.
6202, yes.
And I now want to turn your attention to the
So you
first
rented on
column
the 7th.
on the far left side of this same document and ask you, what is never lost?
Never lost is, what do we call it today? Navigation.
Okay.
Yes, so never lost is a unit that we used to install in Hertz cars.
And
They have to keep a track on the car, y'all.
was that system or technology a part of this vehicle that was rented by Mr. Williams?
The end indicator would tell me no.
What is prestige rent?
So back in 2015, we had a prestige car program. And so those cars would include just over the top Range Rovers, S-Class Mercedes, different types of vehicles like that.
Was this a prestige rent
Um,
based on this record?
I can tell you that in 15, probably no. The type of car, it would have been now.
What about BMR Res?
Where are you seeing that at?
Oh, right beneath prestige rent. Oh, excuse me, I said it wrong. BMR Res.
Yeah, not familiar with that.
Okay. Just beneath that line item, do you see a vehicle identification number?
Yeah, this would be the VIN number to the vehicle that was driven, yes.
The VIN number associated with this vehicle that was driven.
This would be the Stingray Corvette.
Okay. What is the VIN number associated with the Stingray Corvette that Mr. Williams rented on January 2nd, 2000?
Oh, so you've been renting cars, and we've been thinking those were your cars.
G is in George, 1. Y,
Ain't that something, y'all?
2. B is in David, 7, 2. E is in Eddie, 512, 4682.
All right. Is there a tag is there a state associated with the tag?
Yeah, this is in Georgia.
What is the tag number?
Charlie Kite, 1725.
And what is a vehicle model?
So that's an internal fleet department model for Hertz. So if I was doing a model inquiry and I put this in, that would pull up Corvette. So basically, in Hertz terms, that would anyone who's working on our fleet team, this will indicate that it's a Corvette.
So, all right then.
I want to turn your attention to
So he was renting that Corvette,
of this
that Stingray.
document. And do you see a line that says CKOT-ODO?
In the middle?
Yes, I'll direct your attention with the pointer. On this line,
So I don't see
right
it.
here under level, never lost
Okay.
model.
Okay.
These two boxes, I want to focus your attention. What are what are contained in those fields of this document?
So this would be the odometer reading going out, and this is the odometer reading coming in.
Okay.
And why would you all have listed such readings on this document?
So odometer readings are important because let's say this was a car that was being rented to drive one way. Let's say he was going to rent this car and drive it to, say,
California.
Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those rentals include mileage charges. So that's why the start and the ending mileage would be necessary.
Okay.
And also for us, odometer readings are important that we record them because depending on like a Stingray,
Mm-hmm.
if that's a car that's part of a program, like a lease, they're not going to want this to get above 20,000 before it would go back. Yeah, so probably too much information.
So he been
I want
racing
to turn your attention now
in
to
rental cars.
page
Oh,
5 of this same document. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's how they do it, don't they? Y'all drag your car
You see
anyway.
on this document, on this page of the same document, the days charged, how many days charged, Mr. Williams? How many days Mr. Williams was charged? Excuse me.
Base charge was 7.
Okay, and what is under driven? You see driven.
Right there.
Yeah, 4.98.
What? Point
Not,
nine eight.
not sure what that means.
Right beneath the 4.98 number, how many miles driven do you see Mr. Williams had on this?
So 279 miles is put on this car.
I want to go a little bit lower to the word upsell. Do you see that word on this document?
Correct. Yes, right here.
What would that mean for you in looking at this document?
That this was not the original car that was booked, and he did a vehicle upsell into this Corvette.
Is upsell synonymous with upgrade?
Correct.
What? He upgrade that Stingray. I'll put it in a video. Shoot.
I want to turn your attention to the next page of this document. All right. On the furthest right-hand column of this document, do you see a line that says age diff?
Correct.
What is that?
That's telling me that the renter was underage.
What?
And he paid a fee to drive this vehicle. Underage fee.
What?
What would have been considered underage for her in 2015?
Yeah.
Anything under 25.
Okay,
And I'm
yeah.
going to turn your attention now to the final page of this document.
$100.
Which is now page
Y'all,
7.
y'all throwing away money.
And, I want to start with on the furthest right-hand column. You see a line that says birthday.
But
What is the birthday associated with that column?
8/16/1991.
You know that to be August 16th, 1991.
Correct.
All right. Do you see a line under that?
Yes.
What is the age at rental for Mr. Williams for this particular?
This is telling me he was
23.
23 years old.
Is there a second driver associated with this rental?
No.
Okay. And how do you know that?
So if there was a second driver, that information would be here.
And when you say here for the record, what are you speaking about?
On the line under age at rental, it would say second driver age, and that would be listed there.
Okay. And,
Okay.
I want to turn your attention now to
Just educating me
states. But
about a rental car.
furthest left side column of this same document, do you see an address associated with Mr. Williams' rental?
I do.
What is that address?
24, 34.
So this address at time of rent, which will have been taken from the driver's license unless he indicate to us that the address has changed. It's 3424 Ruby H. Harper Boulevard, Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia, and zip code 0354.
Is there a billing phone number associated with this address? What,
Yes. Yes.
What is the billing number?
404-798-8491.
Is there a home number associated with this rental?
Yes, 504-975-3904.
You don't have that number no
Is there
more,
a
y'all.
driver's license number associated with this rental?
Yes.
Do you see any such digits on this type of?
So again, for PID purposes, it's masked, but it's telling me he had a Georgia license, and this is the ending
Yeah,
numbers of the
expiration and
license.
stuff.
I am going to now publish for your viewing States Exhibit 335 Yankee. And just a brief indulgence as Mr. Atkins pulls that out.
Seem like a nice man. I don't know, just looking at him. Sorry about that, y'all.
Okay, before you now is the first page of States Exhibit 335 Yankee. What are we looking at here, Mr. Singleton?
This
Jennifer,
is another rental agreement.
yeah.
Okay, is this a you said rental agreement, is this a DRB print or rental agreement?
Yes.
All right. Do you see a rental agreement number associated with this daily reconciliation?
Got to have a number.
Yes, 105-939-735, yes.
And can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what was the check out date, if you see any associated with this one?
So this one went out on January 7th,
7? Okay.
2015 at 8:34 p.m.
And do you see any code next to the time that this checkout was for this vehicle?
Yes, so this one went out on another weekly rate. This is a
Capital
web
week.
weekly rate plan.
So is it fair to say that this rental would have occurred on the, reservation would have been performed on the internet?
Correct.
Is there a location associated with this, as with the last DRB report?
Yep.
From where this vehicle was taken?
Yes, 145011 Atlanta Airport, USGA ATL 11.
Okay. And do you also see a check-in date with respect to this rental?
Yes.
What is the check-in date that you see with this rental?
This one came back on 1/11
So he keep it a week.
at 1:50 p.m.
Do you know that's in January 11, 2015?
Correct.
And is that, is the code or location for that return the same as it was for the checkout?
$770.
So this one changed to a standard daily rate. And this is still showing that it checked in at the Atlanta airport.
And Mr. Singleton, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as it relates to State's Exhibit 335, Yankee, is this rental agreement, or this daily reconciliation of business print associated with any particular renter?
Yes,
Who is the renter associated with this DRB print?
it's Jeffrey Williams.
All right. Is there a card number associated with this DRB?
Sure.
Correct.
What card number do you see?
MasterCard. And it's the 1534869.
Is there any alpha numbers after that?
Just, it's mass, so X, yep.
All right. Is there, next to this, on the same line of this document, do you see any language saying debit
Why you
card?
ain't just
Yep,
buy
so
a
this is
car?
telling me that it's not a debit card.
Okay. And for this DRB print, can you tell if he was a gold customer?
No. What?
Not with this page, no.
To the furthest right column of this
Oh,
document.
I'm sorry, yes. So
Yes, he
this
is.
is telling me that this is a regular rental.
Uh-huh.
Gold customer, no. 5-star, no. Gold
Yeah.
rent, no. So yeah, none of this. Yeah, it all indicates that it was rented at the in the normal rental.
And when you said the normal rental, are you saying that he would have had to come up to the regular counter that you described earlier to make this transaction?
Yes, but we process rentals, and you can do a regular rent at any terminal. So if you're inside the Gold VIP booth, you can do a regular rent. If you're at the main counter, of course, we do regular rents there.
All right. Is there a now turning your attention to the furthest left-hand side of this document, is there a reservation ID associated with this rental transaction?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And what
Gotta have an ID.
What numbers or digits are you looking at
Lord.
on this document?
All right, so that's G
4430581. Yeah.
F is in Frank 4.
Jesus.
Beneath that, well, I'm gonna turn your attention, to the center column, do you see a line that says days driven?
Yes.
What numbers, if any, do you see associated with days driven?
Days driven was 3.72. Days charged was 4.
Why is there a difference between days driven and days charged?
If you look at the time, so he went out at 8:34.
PM.
If he would have brought it back closer to 8:34, days driven would have been 4. So it's kind of like, because it came back early that Sunday.
It came back early.
He returned it early.
You don't have to publish it, I just want
He handled his business with those cars. I like that.
that was admitted, and have you Look at it, which was states 333 Yankee. Keep this
Jeffrey.
number. And I want to show you just briefly at the top left-hand corner of this document. Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury if the check-in for that vehicle was the same date as the check-out for the second vehicle that Mr. Williams rented in States Exhibit 335?
Hold on.
Okay, y'all, what they trying to do right here? Go to day 83. That time is going to be very important to let them know, was he here in Georgia? And what time did he bring it back here? You can let us know, was he at that show? Was he at that show or was he over there by the barbershop? All depend on, but we don't know. That's what they trying to figure out now.
34. Yeah. Same day.
Okay. Do you know?
Same day.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, based on the times, if it were the case that this would have been a swap happening all at the same time?
Bear with me one second.
Smart man right there. Trying to time you, Thugger. You better not mess me up.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. You finish your statement.
Yeah, so one was, one was returned and then one was rented a couple minutes later.
Okay, so when you say one was returned, are you referring to the return of the Corvette, which was rented first?
Yeah.
Stingray Corvette?
Hold on one second.
Come on, man.
Let's be sure.
The first car, and then the second car. He looked like he rented a different car than the first car. He looked like he didn't rent a Stingray the second time. I don't know.
So, the Stingray was returned. And then the Q50 Infinity was rented.
There you go. He switched vehicles.
I am now going to ask you to stand back up. And I'm going to give you this microphone back. And I want to direct your attention to the second page of State's Exhibit 335 Yankee. All right. Before you use the second page of State's 335 Yankee, do you see a rental agreement on this second page of that document?
Yes.
Okay. And is that the same rental agreement number that you saw on the first page of this same document?
Correct.
Okay. And I want to show you now just a brief indulgence. Okay. On this second page of this same document, do you see a checkout due date? No, well, first, do you see a DRB date on the first column?
January the 11th.
Check out. See, where is, yeah. DRB date is
12th.
January the 11th,
11th.
2015.
Okay.
Would that have been the date that the vehicle was returned to Hertz?
That is correct.
Correct. Okay.
And beneath that same line, see a checkout due date.
Correct.
What is the date associated with the checkout due date?
What's on the 12th?
January 12th.
So he could have brought it back on the
With
12th.
this document, would that mean that the vehicle was returned?
That means that he could have brought it back on the 12th.
What do you, was this vehicle returned early?
Yes.
Yes. It's supposed to be back on the 12th.
I'm now going to direct your attention to the third page of this same document. Okay, all right. Was this vehicle, based on this document, that being the Infiniti Q50, equipped with never lost technology?
What did you say?
Yes.
Ten
And
miles.
you're pointing, for the record, are you pointing to the line of model?
So under model description, it's telling me that this car is a never lost Q50, rear wheel drive with the sunroof.
And are you referencing SUN for sunroof on this Infiniti Q50?
That is correct.
And I want to take your attention back up to on the same column, just further up on this document. Do you see a vehicle ID number associated with this Q50?
Got to have an
that
ID
is equipped
number.
with the sunroof?
That is the VIN number, yes. Do I need to read it?
Yes, please.
J, N as in Nancy, 1, B as in boy, B as in Victor, 7, A as in Apple, P as in Paul, 7, E as in Eddie, M as in Mary, 680965.
Right. Is there a tag, a state associated with
Yes,
the tag? For
Georgia
this
and the
Infiniti
S tag.
Q50 equipped with sunroof?
Yes, this one has a Florida registration, a Florida tag.
What's the
Florida,
tag number
okay.
associated with this Infiniti Q50 equipped with sunroof?
S as in Sam,
It's a Florida tag.
322. U as in unicorn, S as in Sam.
And what is the vehicle model?
N is a fleet code internal for
N5.
Hertz, N5QN.
I want to ask you something that pertains to the prior page that we looked at, and you don't have to switch the page. I just want to ask you, Mr. Singleton, what is a checkout due date?
When they bring it in, or check it out.
Sorry, a checkout due date? Yeah, this when the car is due.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
that's
is it allowable by Hertz for a person to return before the checkout due date?
you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I want to turn your attention to the furthest right-hand column of this same page on States Exhibit 335 Yankee. And to the first line that appears there, do you see one that says car/truck IND?
Okay,
Yes.
right there.
What is the letter, if any, that you see to the right of that?
C as in Charlie.
Okay, and the C, what does C mean?
That's indicating that it is a car.
And
It's not a truck.
I'm now going to turn your attention to the next page in subsequent order on this same document. And actually, we're going to go to the next page after that. I apologize.
It's okay. Take it.
Okay. You are now looking at the fifth page of States Exhibit 335 Yankee. I want to inquire of you. Do you see a rental agreement number associated with this same page?
Got to have a number.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And do you see underneath that rental agreement number an area where you see RQs?
Yes.
Okay. And underneath that, do you see a day's charge?
Yes.
How many days charge do you see?
4.
All right. And what in that furthest right-hand column on that same line, do you see free? Furthest left-hand column. Furthest right-hand column on the left side of this document, you see a word that says free?
Correct.
All right. And what does that pertain to, if you know?
Free.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay. All right.
But nothing's free. I'm not
Oh.
All right.
I know that right. See that $400 right there.
How many miles did Mr. Williams drive in this vehicle that he ran?
So with this particular car, he did 271
271
miles.
miles.
Okay. And in this Infiniti Q50 with the sunroof, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury if there was an upsell?
Oh, y'all, they trying to see. They know the date that when Donovan got shot. Okay, they trying to find out did Young Thug rent that car. That's the same car that he rent in that accident. And this is a sunroof that we're talking about. But they got to let us know about the dates. So they'll connect. Oh, if he rent that sunroof, y'all. Thug, you better not be done got me in trouble now. I've been taking up for you now.
Correct. So that amount is here.
And what is that
400.
that you see on that document?
$400.
Please don't let this be the car in that
Based on
accident.
this document, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what kind of upsell that would have been?
Jesus.
So that's not listed here, but if you go back to the top, That's not here either. That's on the document that we saw earlier. It'll tell you what was actually reserved and what it was upgraded to.
Wow. Please don't let
And
that
I want to turn your attention to the next page in subsequent order that appears on State's Exhibit 335 Yankee.
Mr. Brown,
Yes,
before
sir.
you do that, I have a good authority that people need to take a break.
I understand.
So, we're gonna go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and take a comfort
He
break.
love to take
10
breaks. Let me skip it. Love to break. Don't want to work. They want to. Cause you sitting on your butt. Need to stand up. All right, y'all. Let's get back right here. Let's skip it. Okay, y'all. Don't remember now. This is the sunroof. They trying to find out. Wow. I hope Thugger, his name there and his address and his card. So let's pray that he didn't rent that car to do what he did. And if he rent that car to do what he did, he wasn't at that promotion that Mr. Steele showed us that Donovan had promoted for Birdman. Oh Lord, please let's see, y'all.
Agreement number associated with this same page.
Yes.
See a checkout date associated with this rental.
Yes, January 7th, 2015.
And do you also see a customer ID number on this page?
Yes.
What is that customer ID number associated with Mr. Williams' rental, the G50 Infiniti you were saying?
I'm not sure.
Do you see those numbers next to customer ID number? ID?
Right
Yeah,
there.
05207
Yeah, that's a customer ID.
991.
Okay.
But you don't see it.
And
These folks act crazy.
and I want to turn your attention on that same line, yes, sir. Do you see auto gold all the way across?
Yes.
Okay, and what is the code, if any, do you see associated with that line?
For Auto Gold?
Yes.
No.
Okay, do you see anything beneath that line?
Yes, it's birthday.
His birthday,
And what is
August
the birthday
16th.
associated with that line?
August 16th, 1991.
They identified y'all.
Beneath that line for the birthday.
Yes.
What is the age at rental?
23.
And do you see if there is a second driver associated with this vehicle?
There is no second drive associated with this.
No
vehicle.
second
And
drive.
is that, are you able to say that because the line is blank?
That is correct.
I want to turn your attention to the name of the rental. Is the name? What is the name of the rental for this?
Jeffrey Williams.
Is that the same name that was on the first State's Exhibit?
Yes.
Identified as State's Exhibit 333?
That is correct.
Correct.
Now, is there an address associated with Mr. Williams' rental?
Yes.
Yes.
What is his address associated with this?
Same address.
3424 Ruby H. Harper Boulevard, Southeast,
You better not be done that.
Atlanta,
Come on, young
Georgia.
thug.
30354.
Okay, now I want to go to the lines just beneath the city and state. Do you see a home number associated with this person?
Yes, it's 504 975 3904.
Do you see a billing number associated with this rental by Mr. Williams?
Yes, that is 404
798
8491.
Do you see a driver's license, country and state associated with his license?
Yes, driver's license, state of Georgia. And of course, it's mask, 50, like a GA.
Okay. And I am now going to turn your attention to the line on the furthest left-hand column of this same page on this document. Do you see a line that says CC1?
Yes,
What does that stand for?
credit card that was used to pay for the rental.
What is the credit card associated with this one?
The number is mask, but it's 534869. That's what's available to see.
Okay, is there anything that follows that last digit of 9?
I'm sorry, XX.
And I want to ask you to turn your attention to the second line underneath. What does CC2 pertain to? And be careful, that ledge is really close to, you're really close to the ledge.
Now, we got it. All right, so CC2 would tell me, let's say the renter returned and they want to change the form of payment from MasterCard to, say, American Express.
Okay.
So that number would be on the second line.
But it's not a number.
So that's when you change your form of payment.
Okay.
And I want to turn your attention now to, well, you can reclaim your seat.
Good job. You know your job, honey. Good job.
I am going to show you what has already been admitted in the evidence in State's Exhibit 338 Yankee.
You doing too good too, State. You doing good.
I want to get these in front of you because you're going to crosswalk. Yes, 338. 338, please. And we're publishing now for the jury. State's 338 Yankee.
Thugger. Better not have been done got me in trouble.
Okay.
That's his receipt.
Thank you. All right. To the top left-hand corner of this document, identified and admitted already in the evidence, it states 338 Yankee. Do you see any reporting periods associated with this query for this document? First page of this document.
He checked it out on the
What's the
second.
reporting period associated with the first page of this document? Identified as states 338 Yankee.
You looking for the checkout date?
No, I want to direct your attention, and I am now approaching the witness and showing.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
I said what you said.
So this transaction was pulled from data warehouse.
It shows when he
This is
checked it
pulled
out.
from data warehouse.
Checked it in.
December 2014, and the inquiry was from the 14th until 2016 March.
What is this document?
This is what we call a transaction detail for legal inquiries.
Okay. And for the reporting period that you see, do you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So ringing this mic. I'm not sure where it's coming from, Your Honor.
Jeffrey.
What's
Now-
the reporting period
now,
that you see for
y'all-
this first page of this
Now,
document?
what they're gonna do is go back.
December
They're gonna
2000.
go back and look at that date. That showed that he's supposed to be in that with Birdman. Somebody did call Young Thug when they did what they did. Before they did what they did. And then they called Birdman after they did what they did. So they trying to. It got to be nobody but Thugger, if that's the car. He rent that car for them. He had to be in Atlanta. So let's see.
14 through March 2016.
What does that reporting period mean for this first page of this document?
So basically, whoever requested this would have came from corporate. They asked to pull rental agreements, records for this particular renter.
And they pulled the records from 2014 to 2016. What they did, but he ain't had nothing in 2014. He had the ones in 2015. 15. Okay, right here.
And they wanted information on December 2014 through March 2016.
So is it fair to say that this first page of this document only covers that time period listed next to reporting period?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. What is a transactional, a transaction?
It's like a receipt.
Detail for a legal service, a legal inquiries report?
So any investigation, that's what this would be. So let's say an investigator came and there was a robbery or whatever, or shooting or whatnot, then they would request, if they have a person of interest, they would say, hey, I want to see how many cars have you rented from?
This a lawyer doing this.
So that's what this is.
A
So it's
detective.
basically a summary of all the rental agreements.
Right.
And what this report does is it captures every rental that person has rented
That's right.
in that period that you inquired.
Okay, so for the time period, associated with December 14th, March 2016, on the first page of this document, identified and indicated as States 338 Yankee, is there a renter or subject associated with this inquiry?
Not 2014.
Yes.
Not
Who is
that.
that, what,
Wait.
who's that person?
Jeffrey,
But
Jeffrey
not for
Williams.
2000.
Okay. And is there a driver's license associated
Yeah,
with
it's
this
a driver's
query
license.
for this first page of States 338 Yankee?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the driver's license number associated with this query for this 338 Yankee exhibit?
05 617 16
Like, go ahead, driver's license.
50GA.
Right. Do you see a segment associated with license plate number on this first page of this document?
Yes.
But y'all, I noticed something on his license that I don't see on my license. That percentage sign right there. I'm surprised they didn't bring that up. I never seen that on the license. A percentage sign. In our license, it used to say Georgia, but I never seen that percentage sign. I'm surprised he didn't mention it.
For license? Oh, yeah, that is, yes.
Why would that be blank? Do you know?
So basically, you're going to have multiple rentals. So it's going to list it under the transaction.
Hold on, y'all. Let me bet that bet. I missed out on that. Okay, I missed out on something.
This time to that time. So that's what this is. So it's basically a summary of all the rental agreements. And what this report does is it captures every rental that that person has rented in that period that you inquire.
Okay, so for the time period associated with December 14th, March 2016, on the first page of this document, identified and indicated as States 338 Yankee, is there a renter or subject associated with this inquiry?
2015.
Yes.
Who is that? Who's that person?
Jeffrey Williams.
Okay. And is there a driver's license associated with this query for this first page of States 338 Yankee?
Yes.
Got to have a
What is the
driver's license.
number associated with this query for this 338 Yankee exhibit?
05 617 16 50GA.
Right. I see. Do you see a segment associated with license plate number on this first page of this document?
Yes.
Is it blank?
Yes.
For license? Oh, yeah, that is, yes.
Why would that be blank? Do you know?
So basically, you're going to have multiple rentals. So it's going to list it under the transaction.
All right. So now turning to your, do you see just beneath license plate a set of boxes?
Yes.
Okay. Starting with the first line of boxes going horizontally, what is the RA number listed on the first line of that graph that you see there?
103 976 202.
And does that, when it says RA number, is that pertaining to rental agreement?
Correct.
Okay, I am going to approach you with state exhibits 332 and 333, 332 and 334 Yankee, both Yankee. Let me know the position of and so for ease of reference. On the first line of that, on the first line of State's Exhibit 338 Yankee, where you just read the rental agreement number, does that rental agreement number correspond to what rental agreement number is located on State's 332 Yankee?
Yes.
All right, and what is located on State's 332? What is the rental record number associated with State's 332?
That's 103 976 202.
All right, now I'm going to turn your attention back to State's 338 again. Right? All right. And, is there a checkout date associated with that rental, well, let me ask you this, is there a checkout date associated with the first rental that you just described? The checkout.
January 2nd, 2015.
Is there a checkout state associated with that first, rental?
I'm sorry?
Is there a checkout state?
Yes. Sorry.
What state?
That's Georgia.
And, the checkout location ID, is there one associated with that as well?
Yes.
What do you see on that first line of states 338 game?
USGAHEL 11.
And, do you see also a checkout location description?
Yes.
And, what is it that you see on states 338 Yankee as the checkout location description?
Atlanta Hartsfield International.
Okay. Do you also see a check-in date associated with that first rental by Mr. Williams?
Yes.
And what is that check-in date?
January 7th, 2015.
Does the checkout date and the check-in date correspond? Is the checkout date on the
Capital week.
338 Yankee as well as the check-in date correspond to what is located on states 332 Yankee, which is the rental
Yes.
agreement?
It's the
Yes.
same. It's the same information.
What is the check-in state associated with the first rental made by Mr. Williams?
The
Yeah.
check-in state, Georgia.
And is there a check-in location ID associated with that first rental by Mr. Williams?
Yes.
And what is the check-in, location?
Atlanta Airport.
And, is there a date of birth associated on state 338 Yankee?
16.
Date of birth correspond with what has identified and admitted in evidence as states 333 Yankee. And I'm turning your attention to, page page 7 of that document.
Yes.
And, is there a license plate number associated with, this first rental by Mr. Williams? And if you can turn, slide the exhibit over just a little bit.
Moto, mommy, I don't know what a dark web is. So, no, it's not dark web.
Is there a license plate number?
This is a court.
330,
Yes.
And what is that license plate number associated with that first one?
CCK 1725, Georgia.
And does that license plate correspond with the first rental, that Mr. Williams, made on January the 2nd, that, basing your attention on states 332 Yankee?
Yes.
And, based on states 338 Yankee, if you can go over just a little bit more, Mr. Atkins? All right. Is there a VIN number associated with that first rental that Mr. Williams had?
Yes.
What is the VIN number?
1G 1F 207 2E 124682.
Okay, and I am turning your attention now to states 333 Yankee. Does that VIN number that you just called off, that you read from states 338 Yankee, correspond to what is listed on states, 3? Just a brief moment, Ms. Weaver. 333 Yankee. Does that VIN number correspond to that?
Yes.
Basically turning your attention back to states 338 Yankee. Is there a total amount of miles?
Ooh-wee.
There is
How many total miles did, he drive?
279 miles.
We already did this.
All right, now I'm going to direct your attention to the second box on that same diagram that is shown on states 338 Yankee. If you can,
Hey, man, looking at him like we already talked about this. Why you repeating yourself?
And, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what, if any, rental agreement number is associated with Mr. Williams's second rental, that you see on states 338 Yankee?
So that's 105 939 735.
735.
Does that rental agreement number correspond to what is featured on states exhibit 334 Yankee?
Yes.
Yes.
And And does that correspond also to states, what is shown on states 335?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to now direct your attention to the checkout date associated with the second rental that Mr. Williams made from the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Airport. What's the checkout date associated with that second?
January 11th.
Yes, January 7th, 2015,
Is there a checkout state associated with this second one?
Georgia.
Is there a checkout location and ID associated with this second one?
Yeah, USGAATL 11.
Is there a checkout location description associated?
Oh my gosh, I thought we already talked about this.
Check-in date associated with that segment.
All right, y'all, I'm gonna skip a little bit, man. I'm
Where was the
skipping.
check-in state for that second rental?
Georgia.
Now, I want to get to this part.
Back in the old days, we used to sign the contract with a pen, but MAG is where they capture the signature electronically.
Okay. And I want to scroll all the way to the bottom of the state's exhibit, identified as States 332 Yankee. And do you see a signature associated with this particular exhibit, State's Exhibit 332 Yankee?
Yes.
All right, what signature do you, excuse me,
Let's see, Jeffrey.
pertain to the rental of the Corvette, 2014 Corvette Stingray?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to go back to page 1 of this same document. And do you see a name associated with this particular state's exhibit for this rental of this Corvette Stingray?
Yes.
What is the name?
Jeffrey Williams.
All right.
$208 a week. Y'all young people got money to throw away. Buy you a car. Williams.
Okay, it should be coming up momentarily. All right, we want to go all the way to the last page, it's 334 Yankee, Mr. Hackey. All right, and if you go all the way to the bottom of the verse, let me just get this quick. Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury if you see a signature associated with this rental agreement?
Yes.
And does this rental agreement pertain to the 2014 Q50?
Yes.
And let's go to the first page.
This is the same person. W.
And on the first page of this document, do you see a renter's name associated with this Q50 included with the sunroof?
Yes.
And what is the name of that person who rented the vehicle?
Jeffrey Williams.
I
Woo.
am now
Wait.
going to well, let me ask you a few questions first. As a part of being in the managerial roles at Hertz, would you have any benefits or perks?
Yes.
It's very relevant. I think I'll ask something more specific now.
Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. Are you familiar with 2014 Q50 Infiniti?
Yes.
How are you familiar with that particular make and model of the car specifically?
I mean, we rented Infinities, pretty much all the models. The Q50 is one that I've driven before, and yeah.
Have you ever driven a person with a Q50 Infiniti?
I have.
Okay, and was that your car?
So I had a driving privilege. So yeah, I could drive anything.
Okay, and when you say driving privilege, what does that mean?
So that means part of, which goes back.
And how long did you drive the Q50 Infiniti that you used to start?
So part of, with our positions, the car had to be turned in quickly. But that wasn't to stop you from just switching into another Q50. It was too small for me. I've driven them, but yeah, it's kind of small.
I am now going to show you Mr. Rico.
So the women thought you had money and you ain't.
How often would you drive a Q50 Infinity?
Not often.
I stay, Jason.
Would you drive the Q50 Infinity from work to home?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. And would you recognize the Q50 Infinity if you were shown one again?
Of course.
No, it's very good. Overruled, sir. I have now shown you what is the evidence in states. 292 Yankee Lima Mike November, and it's going to populate on the left screen to you, the screen to your left.
Uh-oh.
And for the record, Your Honor.
Oh, Lord. Jeffrey William, please don't let this be your car. Please,
I'm going
Jesus.
to allow you, if you will, let me get past you. Bring that back up. For the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you please circle if you see a Q50 Infinity on the screen?
Please don't.
Can you describe the color you can see this Q50 Infinity?
So yeah, this one is silver.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a Q50.
And can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury if you see a date in the bottom left-hand corner of this screen?
Yes, January 10th, 2015.
And did Hertz Rental Car Atlanta Airport, based on the records that have been admitted into evidence, rent a Q50 Infinity 2014 with the sunroof around or about the time that this Q50 Infinity appears on this screen?
Yes.
To whom did Hertz Infinity rent a Q50
What?
Infinity 2014 with the sunroof around or about the
Hold
time
up.
associated at
Hold on. Please don't get my boy. Please don't. My boy's not even supposed to be in town. Young Thug, you was pulling up in that gas station. Somebody else was driving the car. It could have been somebody else driving that car that he rent. I'm taking up for him, man.
So yeah, this would have been a Jeffrey Williams run.
no further questions.
Ooh. Ooh, wee. Yup, come on, defense. Young Thug. You was in that car with that sunroof, but you wasn't in the car that you was there at the gas station. Oh no. You supposed to been out of town when Donovan got shot. Where Mr. Steele at? Y'all better not be don't got my boy in trouble. I hope he couldn't have been in two places at the same time. He couldn't have been. He rent that car. I could rent a car and let you use the car. Now we can work it out that way. I could have rented the car for you to drive the car. But in order for me to rent the car, drive the car, I was there. I rented that day. And I got to find out what day the accident was, what day the killing was happening when they underlined Donovan. Whoa, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. Whew. Oh, Young Thug. Baby.
Okay, Mr. Adams, you can begin your cross-examination if necessary, sir. Go right ahead.
Right now, Mr. Atkins, do me a favor. That last picture that was up on the screen, can you put that back up again for the jury, please?
Represent. Y'all better get my boy out of trouble.
And Mr. Singleton, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Keith Adams. With Mr. Steele, I represent Jeffrey Williams, gentleman who's sitting right there with the gray sweater. I want to pick up where the state left off and ask you a question about that visual that's on the screen.
Yep.
You circled that and you said that looks like an infinity. Is that right?
Correct.
Right. Tell me from the photograph that you're looking at right there, who's driving that infinity on that date,
Thank
January
you.
10th, 2015?
Can't answer that.
You can't tell, can you?
No.
There's
I
no
just
way-
said that. I said that's the only way they can get him if they know that's him driving. I can rent a car and that you use the car. That don't mean that that's because he rent that car that that's him in that car.
You can look at that photograph and tell anyone here that Jeffrey Williams or anyone else is driving that vehicle at that moment, can you?
No.
You were working at Hertz in around the time we're talking about, January the 10th of,
Get him,
or
Adam.
really in this case, January the 7th
Yes.
of 2015, true?
Correct.
You were the director of operations?
Operations, yes.
Okay. Were you actually working on the day of January the 7th, 2015?
Can't answer that.
Okay.
Why
don't-
you
don't-
can't? Wait a minute. Wait, hold up. Why you can't answer that? We need for you to answer that.
It was it.
Oh. If you don't know, I don't know.
I know.
All right. But let me ask you this. Do you have a recollection? Can you say to this jury, yes, I was working that day, or no, I was not working that day?
You better not overrule it. He need to answer that.
All right. It's fair to say you don't know. All right.
He got to answer that
Do you
question.
know what individuals were actually working at the location on that particular day?
It's over 400 employees.
Yes.
I could tell you.
You don't know?
No.
All right.
But you know everything else.
We talked a little bit, well, a good bit actually, about the check-in date and the checkout date.
Yes.
I want to ask you some questions about the actual location, right? On the
She
inside,
looking at the
where
camera.
an individual would go in.
Look right at the
to rent
camera.
a car,
Let me move this thing.
are there cameras? And we're talking about back in 2015.
Can't answer that.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Can't remember.
What about the checkout, the drive-out location that we talked about, where folks, you'd say, have to stop before they leave with a vehicle? Cameras there?
15?
Yes.
Can't answer that.
Okay.
I just can't, I don't want to say.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you what it is. The problem is, he wasn't the one rent that car, but he just know how to explain the paperwork to y'all. So he really not giving no information out. Now he trying to add Dom now.
But I knew there was a period of time where they didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, because a new system came in shortly after that. I remember.
When you say
Excuses.
there's always been cameras, would that include 2015?
Yeah, when I came back to Atlanta, there were cameras
Okay.
because this was a new facility.
Okay.
But I can't recall if they were.
Excuses.
Okay.
Excuses.
Or, for example, where they might have been located at the facility.
I knew where every camera was located.
Okay.
So there was a lightning storm
Oh, here we go.
sometime back then, because that's what prompted us to get a new system.
Here we go.
So I just, like I say, I just can't recall if the cameras was up and running then or not.
Okay.
Get him, Adam.
What we know from what you testified to is that there are policies and procedures with Hertz, right?
Yes.
There are policies in regards to someone renting a vehicle, true?
Correct.
There are policies in regards to someone being an additional authorized operator.
Yes.
Now, Hertz's policy is that if I rent a vehicle, in order for someone else to drive it, I should put them down as an authorized or additional authorized
We
operator.
should.
Correct.
Now, would it be fair to say that that doesn't always happen?
True.
Correct.
In fact, from the amount of time that
True.
you worked at Hertz,
Correct.
that people rent vehicles all the time and let other people drive the
Thank you.
That's true.
That's true.
Now that's a discrepancy that the renter may have with Hertz, right? But that just says that there may be other people driving the vehicle
Right.
that Hertz doesn't know about because they're not down on a contract as an
That's
additional
true.
authorized driver.
You're correct.
And so you were asked a lot of questions about the VIN, the VIN number of the, let's start with the Infinity. You remember the questions about the Infinity with the sunroof? Right?
Yes.
All right. You asked a lot of questions about the Infinity with the sunroof, about the VIN of that number, of that car. Remember that?
Yes.
About the date of birth of the person who was listed as the renter, right?
Yes.
About the driver's license number of the person who was the renter of the vehicle, right? About the credit card number of the person who was listed as the renter of the vehicle, right?
Yes.
Is there anything, and whether or not that vehicle has a sunroof, remember that?
Yes.
All right. Is there anything about any of those items that tells you who was driving the rented Infinity on January the 8th of 2015?
No.
Is there anything about any of those items that you were asked about that tells you that you can definitively say to this jury,
Get him, Adam.
I know who was driving the vehicle on January the 9th of 2015?
No.
Same thing for 2010.
That's
I
right.
believe.
No.
All right. January 10th,
No.
January 11th.
No.
All right.
Get him, Adam.
And we're talking about the Infinity with the sunroof. All right. As far as you know from the documents, was returned on January the 11th. Is that right?
Yeah,
That is correct.
that's what
Do
you
you
said.
have any idea? Because you weren't there. You can't say with any certainty that you were physically there on January the 11th, right?
Objection. Ask the answer, Your Honor.
I stay.
Do you know where Jeffrey Lamar Williams was located? In what state he was located on January the 11th of 2015? Do you know?
No.
Do you know who was sitting behind the steering wheel of that Infinity when it was returned back to Hertz on January the 11th of 2015?
No.
No proof. No proof.
One of the things that you asked about had to do with the return date, return time. Remember those questions?
Yes.
And I think we were able to determine from the documents, correct me if I'm wrong, that a Corvette that was rented on the 2nd of January, true?
Correct.
That Corvette came back, and that Corvette was rented in the name of Jeffrey Williams.
You're right. Correct.
That Corvette came back to
On the
Hertz
7th.
on January the 7th of 2015, right?
Correct.
Right.
And we saw what appeared to be a check-in, or I guess it was checkout date, the date of return, date and time of return, right? Now, when that vehicle comes back and there is that time, that return time stamped on the document we looked at,
Right.
does that time indicate when the vehicle drives onto the lot, when it's finished being prepped by the workers, when the person walks out with their ticket? What does that time actually represent?
Objection.
I stand as a you can break that down, Mr. Adams.
Sure.
Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Judge. That time stamp that shows I think it says checkout date, right?
Yes.
Or checkout time.
Check out or check in?
All right. When the person drops the car off.
Check in.
All right, check in. What does that time actually refer to?
That would be when I hit print and I hand you a receipt.
Okay. So the car may have been there for a while, but the process of checking in is over and it's listed on that receipt when you hit print.
I'm objecting, Your Honor, because the cause will pass 9 minutes.
I stand objection.
Okay. The Corvette comes back on the 7th, right?
Yes.
And then there's an Infinity that's rented on the 7th as well,
Yes.
around the same time. Would you have been the recipient? Strike that. Do you know when, if at all, the Atlanta Police Department reached out to Hertz in regards to getting any documents surrounding these rentals?
Yeah.
No.
They-
No.
You wouldn't have been a person.
No.
Okay. Did anyone contact you in 2015 to get any documents relative to these rentals?
Yes.
Okay.
Personally,
Yes.
no. It would have went to
To
a
the
corporate,
legal.
corporate security manager.
Yeah.
Who's that person?
Back then, it was Jerry Smith.
Okay. So Jerry Smith would have been the person who interacted with law enforcement.
Yes. So, if I can, let's say law enforcement approached me directly, I would refer them to Jerry Smith.
Okay.
So he would have to approve any documents to be given to law enforcement.
Do you have a recollection of that happening sometime in 2016?
This one in particular,
Yes.
hate to say it, but this was 2 to 3 times a week you would get some type of subpoena from law enforcement about a vehicle.
Yeah. And this was, of course, back in 2015, which by my count, about 9 years ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Get him,
Were you
Adam.
ever subpoenaed to either provide documents or come to court anytime in 2015, sir?
I'm gonna object, Your Honor, on basis of relevance.
I'm gonna rule the objection.
To come to court?
Sit down.
Me personally?
Yes.
No.
What about 2016?
No.
Same objection, Your Honor.
Same ruling, overruled.
No.
Sit down,
To come to
boy.
court?
Yes, sir.
No. I've never been subpoenaed to come to court, no.
Okay.
Now sit down.
Back in 2015, did you know Jeffrey Williams?
No.
Did you ever met him?
Personally?
Yeah.
No.
But
Wait, hold on. Can I go back?
Sure.
I know who the rap name is. I didn't know Jeffrey Williams, though, no. By that name. I knew Young Thug, yes.
everybody know
So
Young
you
Thug in
knew-
Atlanta.
you knew who that person, who that entity was.
Yes.
Yes.
You never met him personally.
No.
Not
The
really.
Lifestyle had just dropped. Everybody knew that song.
So,
That's right.
oh,
I like it.
which one?
Oh, well.
All right.
Thug famous boy. Got some good-
Oh, do you have any records of Jeffrey Williams ever renting a Pontiac from Hertz?
Objection, Your Honor. Facts not known.
I sustain the objection.
When the Infinity came back to Hertz, any indication that it had any bullet holes or bullet defects in it?
I don't know. Can't answer that one.
All right. Sounds like you did not have a lot of personal dealings with the rental of either one of these two vehicles that we're talking about, right?
Objection, counsel's testimony.
I sustain the objection.
Why? That's a good question. Keep going, Adam.
Are you aware of whether or not anyone with anyone who worked with Mr. Williams ever made reservations for vehicles on his behalf?
Not aware.
You aware of anyone ever picking up a vehicle for Mr. Williams on his behalf?
On his behalf?
Yes.
No.
You wouldn't have any personal knowledge of that because you would not have been the person dealing with folks picking up vehicles. Is that right?
Again, Your Honor, counsel's testimony.
I'll sustain the objection.
Why? Good question. Good question, Mr. Adam.
Oh. You were, so there was a picture, I guess a piece of a document put up on the screen earlier, where you testified about the mileage of the vehicle going out and coming back in. And you were able to determine from that how many miles the vehicle had been driven while it was out of Hertz's possession, right?
Yes.
Right. And it would be fair to say that tells you how many miles the car was driven. It doesn't tell you who drove those miles, right?
No.
All right. 1 second, Judge. Please.
Get him, boy. La, 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 la. Okay, good questions. That's true, y'all. Y'all know how we do. If we trust that person, we'll rent that car for that person. But if we don't trust that person, I'm not about to rent my car to no killer who I know who gonna shoot somebody in it now. So what they trying to say? It was an infinity.
Judge, thank you. I'm more.
All right. Do I have any other defense examiners? Mr. Matthews, Ms. T. Williams, Mr. Sharp, Mr. Weinstein. All right. Okay. State have anything? You have redirect? We're gonna do that at 1:15.
Oh,
I don't trust you. Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen,
all right, y'all. We almost finished. Let's skip. Skip, y'all. Let's skip. Oh, let's go right here.
other places discuss this case.
Oh, hold on. Let me hear that question. I got to hear what he asked him. Okay. This after lunch. After the break. Let me see. We almost finished, y'all. Shout out to all my subscribers. Shout out to the real deals. Shout out to all the birthdays. Shout out to all the other countries. Shout out to the United States. Shout out to all the Pisces. Shout out to all the beautiful women and men on this channel. Shout out for my people over here. Yeah. And for those who leave their commentary. She just love to talk. That man, don't confuse that man. They don't shut Miss Love up. I'm so glad. But she doing good with that mouth closed. I like her like that. Looking at that camera though. She watching that camera, bro. But what would y'all do if the TV wasn't in there?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
But a bit damn.
All jurors now present? Okay, all right. Thank you, Sergeant Ingram. All right, Mr. Brown. A few questions. That was your last statement to me, wasn't it?
Yes, but it's not qualified. But I'll make it brief. So, Mr. Singleton, before we go for lunch, on the cross, you were asked a couple of questions by Mr. Adams. Do you remember that cross-examination?
Yes.
Okay. And on cross, Mr. Adams referenced a, quote, piece of a document. Is the law enforcement record that he was speaking about a whole document? States Exhibit 338 Yankee. Is that still in front of you?
Yes.
That being the document that's tendered to law enforcement. Do you recall testifying to as much? Is that a whole document and a complete document?
I don't understand your question.
Is there anything missing from that document that you would know to be included on that document normally?
For this?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay. Now I want to transition. Do customers ever put tents on rental vehicles?
It happens.
Are they supposed to do that?
No.
Why are they not supposed to make such modifications to vehicles?
Well, you're not supposed to alter a vehicle. The way you rent it is the way it should return.
Right. Say I put tents on a 2014 Q50 Infiniti with a sunroof, and it wasn't rented to me like that. What would Hertz do in that scenario?
It would go to what we call out of service, and the tent would be removed.
Okay.
And are records generally kept concerning things like that?
Not with tent. No.
All right. I'm going to ask you.
Another question is, why would someone take a vehicle that don't belong to them and put 10 on it? Why though? Why? Y'all gonna let these young folks do anything they want to do.
Some other questions, and they pertain to rental vehicles in general. Are rental? How long do rental vehicles remain in Hertz's rental fleet?
All right, so it's kind of broad, right? So you have different types of vehicles. So now you're getting into what we would call a program vehicle. That's where a manufacturer would they would have a deal with say Hertz, and say for Infinity, let's say the deal was Infinity is going to lease 10,000 units to Hertz. And the program would be something similar to maybe, and it varies depending on how the vehicle's selling in auction. It could be something like a 6-month lease term or 20,000 miles, or it could be 6 months, 14,000 miles. So it varies. And then the flip side of that is a lot of cars in the active fleet we actually go out and purchase. And those cars we would run to 25, 30,000 miles, and then we would sell them at auction.
Okay. At what point, what process, if any, is there for like the decommissioning of Hertz fleet vehicles?
Standing objection.
All right. I am going to ask you just a few more questions, Mr. Singleton. Are individuals who are not listed on rental agreements allowed to pick up vehicles on behalf of other renters? On cross, you were asked about whether someone could pick up. So could someone who is not an authorized operator or the primary, as you say, pick up a vehicle for the primary if they're not authorized for the primary?
No.
Why not?
Well, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. As the primary, you have to qualify to rent. So driver's license, credit card.
Now, okay, look, okay. Now, suppose I was in the hospital, and what is the situation if I was in the hospital, and I'm in critical condition, either not in critical condition, I'm in a situation where I can't walk, but my child needs a ride, and I need it. How do that work when your child is a co-signer? What about a co-signer on a rental car? Can you have a co-signer on a rental car? Just in case I can't pick up the car, can you pick up the car? That's when they need to jump up and say that. Maybe it can be a co-signer on a rental car. I don't know.
So I wouldn't be able to go to Hertz or any other rental car company with your driver's license and your credit card and rent a car.
On cross, you were
Yes,
asked
I
by
gave you
Mr.
the
Adams
permission.
if during the rental, if other persons sometimes drive, like, excuse me, let me rephrase that question more accurately. On cross, you were asked by Mr. Adams if during the rental period, if other persons sometimes drive the car who are not authorized operators. Do you remember that question?
I do.
Even though they can drive it, should they?
They
Should not.
Right.
They should, but they
At
do.
what point during the return process is a print receipt provided to the renter?
So you pull into the return lanes, which is on level 1. There's someone standing so it's 2 ways. There's someone standing at the car with a handheld computer, and they can close you and print your receipt right there on the spot. That would have been 2015.
And what does the return process entail? Just getting a receipt?
They don't do that
or
no
is there
more, y'all.
something more?
Yeah, so it's
That way.
from a Hertz standpoint, it's full walk around to make sure there's no new damage on the vehicle. We verify the mileage, we verify the fuel level. We ask the customer, do they want to leave the charges on?
So that means since y'all overruled Mr. Adam question, That let the juror know that wasn't nothing wrong with that car. Wasn't no bullet hole in that car. Wasn't nothing. Okay, they just answered your question, Mr. Adam, that they overruled. Okay, wasn't nothing wrong with that car when they returned it.
Card that they rented it with, or pay cash. If you want to pay cash, of course, you can go to the desk and pay cash. But if the charges are going to remain on that credit card, then yeah, they would just hit print and print your receipt.
On the cross, you were asked by Mr. Adams if by using the credit card, driver's license, and date of birth, you could tell the jury if you knew who was behind the steering wheel of the silver
No.
2014 Q Infinity shown in State's Exhibit 292, Yankee, Lima, Mike, Nancy. Do you remember that question?
Say it again.
Sure. On the cross,
Yeah.
you were asked by Mr. Adams, counsel for Mr. Williams, if by using the credit card, driver's license, date of birth, that you could tell if you knew who was behind the
No, you
steering
can't
wheel
tell.
of the silver 2014 Q50
No.
Infinity with the sunroof shown in State's Exhibit 292
No.
with a date of January 10th, 2015.
No.
Do you remember that question?
I do.
Okay. Based on the rental records that have already been admitted into evidence, can you tell this jury should have been behind the steering wheel
Williams.
of a silver 2014 Q50 Infinity with the
Williams.
sunroof rented from Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Hertz Rental Car Airport between the date range of January 7th, 2015, ending on
It should
January
be
11th,
Williams.
2015?
So that would have been Jeffrey Williams.
That's right. That ain't nothing what you just asked him. That ain't nothing what you just asked him. That ain't even make no sense what you just asked him. They know William
Do
once.
you have, sir, Mr. Singleton, any personal knowledge that the procedures that you talked about in terms of who's supposed to pick up the car, who's allowed to pick it up, do you have any personal knowledge that those procedures were followed
Thank you.
on the days that we're talking about?
I'll sustain the objection.
Why?
Question number 2. Do you have any proof or any evidence to suggest that there was any tint put on the Infinity during the period of time that it was rented back in January of 2015?
I'm going to object on 2 bases. One, I've asked to answer the 2 bases about it.
You asked about it, so I'm
I know. He can ask about it.
I'm still on my second question. You remember the question, right? And any proof or evidence that anyone put any tint on the Infinity when it was rented during that period of time?
None whatsoever, no.
That's 2, and that's all I've got. Thank you, sir.
Good job, Adam. Good job. Boy, that was some good questions. Now what then? Oh, Miss Love, leave that man alone, because you just made him look like a fool then.
Third question. The return process.
Yes.
Back in 2015, do you know whether or not Hertz did any verification ID checks, received licenses or anything like that when the vehicles returned?
No. They supposed to, but they didn't.
No.
All right.
I told you.
3, that's it. Thank you.
I told you.
Any other?
Anybody could have returned that car.
Anything else about?
Anybody could have returned that car. Y'all ain't got nothing on Jeffrey right there. Now, Jeffrey, now you started to make me get on you.
May Mr. Singleton be permanently and temporarily excused as a witness. All right, Mr. Singleton, thank you for your patience with us on a permanently excused as a witness. Yes, you're free to go about your usual duties and avocations, but don't discuss your testimony with anybody.
He running off that stand.
Okay? Thank you, sir.
Good job, mister. See you later, baby. All right, good job. And you did good too, State. You did good. You did good, baby.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to recess for today. Ladies and
All
gentlemen.
right, y'all. That was it for today. I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance. I be so busy making videos, so creating videos. So I had to come on to get my 80, day 86. out the way. And 86, just a brief summary of what happened in here. What they did was went to the rental company and found out the dates that Jeffrey Williams rented the cars. He is the man that rented those cars. Okay, one was on went out on the returned on the 7th, went out on the 2nd, I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And then he had a Stingray at first, and then on the second car was an Infinity, and he rented an Infinity with a sunroof that they showed y'all on the video on day 93 at the gas station, and he returned it on the 11th. Okay, he usually keep the cars by a week. Okay, they tried to demonstrate and show. They tried to show that they showed a video with a Infinity pulling up, but they couldn't identify the person in the car. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, if these jobs do what they supposed to do, then they won't have no problem with the process that pays when you go to court. See, I could have returned that car. And then another thing, I could be a person, I could have talked to you on the phone, put this order in on the phone. I could have signed it on the line, and my name on the line and everything, be ready to pick up the car. See, it's a whole lot of ways that you can get away with this right here. Okay, but not saying that he is the shooter. I don't know what that an Infinity or not, but that was in the shooting, but it was an Infinity at the Texaco. Y'all, look, I appreciate y'all being here. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm out of here.